Hello, everyone. This is Jo. Welcome to my astrology podcast video on the new moon we have on the very last day of 2024. So this is occurring on the 31st of December at 9:26 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time at 9 degrees and 43 minutes of the sign Capricorn. And the new moon is, of course, when the sun and moon are conjunct, which means they are traveling together in the same sign. So this is a very saturated Capricorn energy. And the light of the moon is non-existent from our point of view on Earth, which is why the new moon is known as the black moon or the dark moon. It deals with things that are hidden, our subconscious emotions, and it is about the rich void space within us where we are fertile with potential. And that is why it's the time for new beginnings and new intentions. And this Capricorn energy feeds very well into the new moon because Capricorn is the sign of goals and goal setting, achievement. It's also about responsibilities and your worldly material place and purpose. So this new moon is on the brink of the new year. So it cannot be more ripe for setting any intentions that you have, which revolve around your life structures, what you do for a living, what you are feeling called to do, to make, or achieve in your worldly spheres in Capricorn, for your advancement and mastery. So this is about responsibilities, roles, duties. This could also be around the spheres of profession and career, even public status, but not necessarily. This is anything that advances you in the material world, because that's what Capricorn is all about. And so because this is on the brink of a very cardinal-oriented year of 2025, because all of the cardinal signs are very prominent in 2025, with Saturn and Neptune ingressing into Aries, Jupiter going into Cancer. That's another story for another time. But right now at this new moon, this cardinal sign of Capricorn is initiating the year for us in a way that is giving us the grounding and frameworking that we may be requiring for the year ahead. So because it's going to be a year of huge transitions and changes, and also through that fiery, blazing new beginnings, because we've just been through a very strong year of profound endings, this is the opportunity now to really ground your intentions in your reality in a way that you know is supportive, as well as practical, as well as realistic. And it's very important, therefore, not to set the intention or plan for anything that is biting off more than you can chew, or being overambitious in an unrealistic way, setting yourself up for failure, which is what the ruler of this lunation, Saturn, in the sign of Pisces, can do. But I will talk about that a little bit later. But there is just overall such a supportive energy in the year of 2025 for stepping into your true self and blazing your own trail. And that fire, that spark, needs the support of solid structures to keep it going. And this is your opportunity now to make an intention, set a goal, plan in a way that is supportive as well as ambitious, that is realistic as well as reaching for success. So when these Capricorn energies are functioning very well and very healthily, they are incredibly powerful manifesting energies, because Capricorn is an earth sign. It's about what you can touch, what you can feel, what you can see and do and interact with. And it's very productive and very successful when you work with it in a healthy way. And this new moon is, again, it's another new moon that is very undiluted and unfiltered. So it's very strongly Capricornian, because it isn't actually making any major aspects or Ptolemaic aspects to any major planets or points. So it's like it's standing alone. You could feel very isolated, Or you could feel like it's very much an internal intention setting, like the goals and ideas that you want to bring into your material reality. They're not necessarily something yet that you want to share with others, or not necessarily public goals. Or it could be things that you have to work on alone. And this is reflective of the things you need to be putting into place now or planning for now that can only come from you. They're very personally tailored to you. So you may feel alone in this process, not necessarily lonely, but isolated within yourself, just because this is something, these themes are things that only you can take responsibility for, and they're commitments especially for you. Or it could be that the intentions you're setting for this year at this lunation, they're all internal intentions around your inner structures, inner support systems, like your inner parent. Capricorn is one of the parental signs. This could be consolidating the ambitions that you have for your inner ability to make things happen, your ability to manifest what you want to work towards. And this really can involve a huge inner structural shift. This could be intentions around being more personally responsible, having a more supportive and realistic way of being. This could be around working harder in Capricorn, or not working too hard, because Capricorn can be the workaholic. And this can be intentions about not working yourself to the bone unnecessarily this year. And this is being responsible for your own well-being. And this is supporting yourself in other ways than just materially with income and your work. This is supporting your mind, supporting your heart, supporting your soul, and being more responsible for your inner world, more emotionally with the moon, responsible with Capricorn. So the main aspect of this lunation, if I just go to the chart here, we have Pallas at 11 degrees 51 minutes of the sign Capricorn, very close, so conjunct this lunation. Pallas is an asteroid. She was the goddess of war, but she was the goddess of war through tact and negotiation. She was known as the peacemaker. She was the first goddess to introduce passing the olive branch as a symbol of peace. So in Capricorn, conjunct this lunation, I'm very much getting that this is really about your mastery, because Capricorn is mastery of the material plane, mastery of your abilities. And Pallas is the master tactician, the intelligent, incisive energy. It cuts through the fluff to get to what is necessary. She breaks patterns. She shows us paradigms that do not work for our peace and for our alignment. And so in Capricorn here, she's working on our mastery, working on what patterns we have, what paradigms that we have, especially because this new moon is about the unconscious structures within ourselves that do not align with the higher Capricorn expression, which is success, mastery, manifestation, the embodiment of peak energy, your peak energy on the material plane. So there could be a real clarity, incisive clarity at this new moon, because that is also what Pallas brings. This could be clarity of a goal, clarity of what will be productive, of what will feed your material mastery, and dedicating yourself to that. So it could be important to question or work through your duties or roles or responsibilities, commitments that you have that are good for you or that are necessary, and what you have taken on which is actually detracting from your advancement. This could be internally or externally in the world in terms of, work, relationships, etc. And also, she's bringing more clarity around the ways that you could be conserving your energy, because Capricorn is all about conserving and prolonging. Conserving your energy in a way that is necessary and beneficial for you. And this can especially be about having healthy boundaries. Or you could be conserving your energy in a way that is really not beneficial. Having boundaries that are too high, too stiff and intractable. Also, how could you be working too hard? And how can working too hard actually be impractical in reality? How can you be perhaps too focused on ambitions or goals or advancement that is actually to the detriment of everything else in your life? And is this healthy? Is this a healthy focus on all levels? And thereby, is it even practical in the long term? Because remember, Capricorn is the water goat. It has that fish tail. It has its feet on the ground, but it is also connected to the fluidity of the subconscious, and it's aware of its overall needs, emotions, and inner drives, and how all of that can interplay functionally in reality, functionally in your life. So, in other words, you cannot be hyper ambitious, hyper productive to the exclusion of this inner world that you carry with you wherever you go, because excluding it is very impractical, very unhealthy, and it's not sustainable. So Pallas is showing us the patterns that we have around this. So she's showing us the patterns we have in our external worldly goals and responsibilities in your life, in your conscious knowing with the sun in Capricorn, and how it's interplaying with or blending with your inner drives, needs, and emotions here with the moon. So the ruler of this lunation is Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn is in Pisces at 14 degrees and at the moment 26 minutes. So Saturn in Pisces is helping us bring our dreams and imagination in Pisces into the real world, Saturn. This is done by first lifting off the veil of illusion and seeing things as they really are. This can be a shock or unpleasant because Pisces doesn't really like this. It prefers a lot of the time those rose-tinted glasses, which sees the world through a lens of perfection, love, and beauty. And that's not a bad thing, but Saturn is bringing the realism to this. So this new beginning at the new moon could be tied into what we're now no longer seeing as viable, because we may know more about the reality of it and how it works or doesn't work in reality. So there could be other more practical and successful ways to bring your imagination to life, to be building your dreams. And this could be around making your spiritual practice, whatever that means for you, because spirituality is ruled by Pisces, and spirituality, there are as many different types of spirituality as there are humans on the planet. Spirituality is different for every single person. So whatever that means to you, Saturn in Pisces, and as the ruler of this lunation, could be about making your spiritual practice, whatever that means to you, more concrete, more reliable, more consistent, or even more of an important focus of your life. So Saturn in Pisces knows that the power of manifesting and bringing goals and dreams to life first comes from within. And as I said before, because Pisces can speak of how we self-sabotage, how we keep ourselves in victim consciousness, how we can prefer maybe to live in dreamland than in real life. It can be about escapism. Saturn has been giving us the somewhat difficult task of really having to deal with the reality. And these beautiful Pisces ideals of connection, unity, unconditional love, spirituality, opening to high energy frequencies. These energies are still possible to achieve. They're still possible to embody in reality, in your daily life, as a part of how you live and function in the real world. Saturn is showing us how this is possible. And this new moon could be a crystallization of these dreams or at least a clarification of these dreams. And because we just had that second Jupiter-Saturn square only about 5-ish days before this lunation, because Saturn is the ruler of this new moon, that square is actually very important. So this second square is part of a larger pattern that I've spoken about before. It initiated in August, will conclude in June 2025. And it has now occurred on the threshold of 2025, which is coloring this as a year of growth and advancement. And because the square here is kind of about the growing pains and realignments that we have to undergo to get to where we want to be, this new moon at this new year, it's setting the tone of 2025 that it will surely be a year of growing, shifting, transitioning, and morphing and mutations. So the manifestation or the bringing into reality of your highest goals, your dreams, imagination, and the on-the-ground work and realities of working on this manifestation is a core energy at this new moon. And it's just such a powerful time to be bringing in those practical working steps and planning to get to where you want to be, because the energies are just supporting this intention setting and this growth at this time. And because the Jupiter-Saturn square, the Jupiter-Saturn interactions are all about your lives, as well as societies as a collective, because they are the social planets and they affect the way that society functions. But on a personal level, the Jupiter-Saturn interactions, it's about your life's ethos, the mood, your mode of being, and whatever you have been putting in place and whatever you are intending for this next year, it's going to really influence the way that your whole life is led. That's big. So whatever you are working towards, set the intention, the plan, the steps, because this new moon is helping to ground this, make it tangible, make it functional, make it realistic, and also make it successful in Capricorn. And ultimately, it's bringing it closer, bringing it down to earth. And this is Capricorn at its height, its manifestation. Now, there are just 2 transits occurring on this day as well that are tying into this lunation. So first of all, we have Mercury trining Chiron. So with Mercury, 19 degrees of Sagittarius, Chiron at 19 degrees of Aries. I touched a little bit on this in my part 2 Capricorn season video, but just to kind of tie it into this lunation, I'll just go into it a bit. So Chiron stationed direct the day before this lunation, and then on the day of is trined by Mercury, now direct as well, making its 3rd and final pass. This is bringing our attention for the final time in this cycle, the consciousness that we have around healing our sense of identity and the conscious acceptance of who you are. This is Chiron in Aries. This is knowing Mercury and understanding in Sagittarius that everything that we move through in this instance, it's our healing and transcending journey with Chiron in Aries of stepping into your true self and identifying wholly with who you really are. It's the conscious understanding that this all has a higher meaning, it all has a purpose, and the consciousness that, as it's Sagittarius here, the journey itself is what is kind of teaching you these lessons about who you really are. This is occurring on the day of the new moon in Capricorn. So these intentions and goals, whatever that is for you, could be very colored by the conscious knowing that moving forward, the support structures in your life will be more consciously aligned with your higher intuitive consciousness and aligned with your true transcended self. And these new goals and structures could be feeding into and supporting your sense of self and supporting your conscious knowing and acceptance of that sense of self. So this is the last major aspect that Mercury actually makes before he exits his shadow zone. So he'll exit this retrograde zone on the 3rd of January, which is closing out the retrograde journey. So this is also really feeding into the preparation for true forward motion in this new year. So also on this day, the other transit I want to talk about is the South Node at 1 degree of Libra, trining Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. So leaving the past behind is a massive part of how we're going to be able to progress more freely in 2025. So we have had massive letting go energies this year in 2024, and this trine from the South Node to Pluto is just an iteration that we must let go of what has been, let go of the past, let go of the history. And this is the releasing of those outdated, because the South Node's in Libra, connections, relationships, outdated ways of relating to people, relating to yourself, a comparison mindset, letting go of these things that are affecting your harmony, affecting your inner peace, affecting your alignment with your true path and your true self, because the North Node opposing the South Node is in Aries. Ultimately, because this is a beneficial trine aspect to Pluto, this is ultimately for your empowerment and for your evolution of your life, your soul and evolution, energy evolution, karmic evolution. So this could be the empowerment here leading into this new beginning at the new moon, the empowerment of releasing a relationship contract. And even if you've been through a painful ending already, this Pluto trine is highlighting that we do have a new beginning at this new moon that's showing us how empowering and strengthening it has been, even through the pain, and how it's been necessary for your growth. And this is the powerful and healthy acceptance of an ending, okay? Acceptance of an ending for your ongoing future progress, Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, so I'll just move on to the tarot now. This time I've used the Tarot of a Witch's Garden by Sasha Graham and illustrated by Natasha Ilinchik. This is the Knight of Cups. Usually when I see this card, it's about the beloved. It's about romance or love or heartfelt passion. So whether it's of the arts, creativity of a person, or just a passion in your life. So I'm just off the back of that South Node trining Pluto explanation. This could be new connections coming in. New, healthy, loving connections coming in through the letting go of some connections that could be allowing now that energetic space for new, profound connections, most likely romantic. There could be a lot of new karmic connections coming in for you this year. So the Knights in tarot, the Knights go. They are action, they do. They have the self-belief, sometimes delusional or heedless self-belief, that they can do anything. They are extra, they are excessively action-oriented, colored by whatever suit they are in. So in the cups, this is the element of water. It is the emotions, the subconscious, your feelings, your needs, and how you feel about going, doing, being. So this to me is very much Saturn, who is the maker, the doer, the beer in real life. Saturn in Pisces, which is the final culminating water sign of the zodiac. So in this depiction, the knight has taken off their armor. So this could be about allowing yourself to be vulnerable, be real, really get underneath all of the layers with this new moon here and the subconscious energies. Having to get underneath to be able to found something really realistic here. So you have to be real with yourself. And to do that, you have to first be vulnerable with yourself. And Capricorn doesn't feel all that comfortable with being vulnerable. So the moon is said to be in detriment in Capricorn, just because the moon rules Cancer, and the opposing sign to Cancer, the furthest sign away, is Capricorn. So the moon naturally flows with the tides, and Capricorn need structure and boundaries that can contain those tides for it to feel in control of them and therefore feel safe. So how can you be channeling your emotions, your subconscious, practically, healthily to feed what you are wanting to build and do? So because this knight has the cup in their hands, this could be about the containment of emotions or containing your emotions in order to examine them more closely or examine your dreams and your drives more closely, because that examination will open you up to what is actually really fueling your passions, fueling your love, your sense of creativity, which is then going to permeate and fuel your dreams and what you're wanting to make of yourself. This is actually behind the knight as well. It's a water horse. It's all scaly and green. So this is reminding me of the very symbol of Capricorn, which is the water goat. It's like the only way forward to charge forward is through the waters of your emotions. The way to move forward is with passion, real passion, with love for what you do, for your art, whatever art means to you. So this is riding the waves of your passion, your dreams, practically. And this is kind of like the concluding statement here that dreams and practicality are not mutually exclusive terms. And Saturn in Pisces is showing us how they're not mutually exclusive. They can work together. And we have to work at it because it's Saturn, but it is possible for them to work together functionally, successfully. And it might not be easy here to examine the slippery subconscious, your emotions. And with the moon in detriment in Capricorn, this is also hard work on these emotions as well. So I'm also just realizing that it's very interesting that the final dispositor of this lunation is actually Neptune in Pisces. Neptune in its rulership in Pisces at 27 degrees, because Saturn in Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So the ruler of this lunation is Neptune, which means that it's the final dispositor. So it's like everything comes back to Neptune in Pisces here. So everything that you are working on, working towards, is for your dreams, your highest good, your benefit, your connection to the divine, to your true soul self. And I think that holding on to that, holding on to the fact that you're bringing the divine into reality through bringing more of your true highest potential into reality. And it's about moving and progressing with love, realistic Capricorn, love, with healthy boundaries. And this is what will also be supporting you so strongly at this lunation and in the year ahead. So I'll leave that at there for now. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, my video podcast on the new moon in Capricorn. Wishing you a wonderful new beginning to the Gregorian calendar year ahead. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.